You're lying in the pitch dark. Your eyes snap open, your heart rate ticks up, and almost instantly, that familiar knot of stress forms in your chest. You're awake, and you know you're not supposed to be. The first instinct is almost always to check the hour. You find yourself staring at the hands of a clock, doing the panicked mental math of exactly how much rest you've already lost. And when sleep refuses to return, you reach for a screen, scrolling through a sterile glow in the hopes of forcing your brain back into submission. We've built a strict medical and cultural consensus around this. A healthy, functioning adult is expected to close their eyes at night and achieve one single, uninterrupted 8-hour block of unconsciousness. But if waking up in the middle of the night feels so incredibly common, it raises a question. Are our bodies actually failing us? Or are we measuring ourselves against a modern habit that goes directly against our own biology? Long before artificial electricity, the daily schedule was entirely non-negotiable. When the sun dipped below the horizon, human activity simply had to stop. With only the faint glow of a campfire to push back the dark, our ancestors followed the rhythm of the earth itself, lying down to rest soon after twilight. This timeline reveals prehistoric biphasic sleep. Instead of one block, humans rested 4 hours in a first sleep, naturally waking in the night. For an hour or two, the active camp shared stories and kept watch. Then, natural drowsiness brought their second sleep until dawn. Waking up in the dark wasn't a disruption or a sign of illness. It was a built-in feature of human survival, providing a quiet, necessary window for bonding and protecting the tribe. This biological clock didn't fade away when humans moved out of caves and into built structures. We carried it straight into the Middle Ages. Villagers and city dwellers alike structured their nights around this awake period. They used the midnight hours to brew fresh ale, mend torn clothing, read by candlelight, and recite prayers. If you look through court records, medical texts, and literature from those centuries, you'll find casual references to a first and second sleep on nearly every page. A farmer waking up at 2 in the morning didn't panic or diagnose himself with a sleep disorder. The modern definition of insomnia simply did not exist for this expected pause in the night. For 99% of human history, a split, segmented night was how our species operated. It was the unquestioned baseline for human rest. So, why did we stop? The break in our biological timeline arrived with a single piece of technology. The glow of a filament finally allowed us to completely ignore the sun. Factory owners quickly realized that with artificial light, they could keep their machinery running and their employees at work long after dark. Outside those factories, municipalities began installing endless rows of streetlights. Slowly, true darkness was systematically erased from public life. Because people were staying up later to work and socialize, but still had to wake up early for their shifts, they had to squeeze their rest into a single, compressed, highly efficient block. Our environment was entirely re-engineered in just a few decades, leaving our internal evolutionary wiring entirely behind. Which brings us back to you, lying in bed at 3 in the morning. Only this time, you don't need to do the frantic mental math. You are experiencing biological lag. Our habits evolved alongside the glow of the campfire for millennia, and our DNA still remembers that rhythm. Opening your eyes in the middle of the night isn't necessarily a malfunction. It is a deeply ingrained survival instinct, echoing inside a modern bedroom. A midnight awakening doesn't mean your body is failing you. It's simply a quiet, harmless reminder that the oldest habits of human survival are still safely hidden inside us.